got a lot to unpack today.
What's on the agenda today, Georgia?
Well, we've got the onboarding and employee updates. So we're going to be creating 2 packs today, one for the purpose of the new employee onboarding. That will then be duplicated for the purpose of the employee updates. So we'll walk you through both of those, how to personalize them, those automations, and just how to make them efficient and compliant as well.
Branding,
exactly. Messaging, internal, external messaging, communications. Yeah. So,
and we're going to touch on how you also use the pack for employee updates, not just for onboarding, right, Georgia?
Yeah, exactly. Employee updates, cool. Change of staff conditions. So the whole journey from the employee.
100%.
Updates.
Yeah,
so a lot of exciting things.
So we'll be doing a pack from scratch originally, just so people, who haven't done that before, they feel comfortable. Where do these items come from?
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to already being in the contact manager, it's good for them to see where it came from.
Yeah.
Why are you guys not wearing a t-shirt? I'm the only guy wearing a t-shirt. Georgia, go and put one on.
I'll tell you why, because it's minus
not gonna
10 degrees
go over
in here.
that jumper there. It's going to be fun. Okay. All right. But that looks weird. It's like the CEO buys the t-shirt for himself and his poor staff can't even have a t-shirt. I'm going to get in trouble with our people.
I do. I have 2.
Can you at least put the t-shirt next to you? So just I've got it, but I'm not wearing it yet.
We'll at home.
Oh my God. I feel really bad now.
No. All right. We have some more people joining us. Beautiful. How's everyone feeling for Easter, the long weekend? What are your plans?
Beach 2 times, at least 2 days.
Wow.
Go to the beach. Yeah. I'm learning to do some surfing. Hopefully you can get to do that a little bit. Yeah. So it would be really good. Haven't for about a few weeks now. Yeah. Other than that, catching up with family, have a nice lunch on Sunday.
Beautiful. Easter egg hunt?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry?
Easter egg hunt?
Yeah. Not necessarily the hunt, but we do the egg fight, trying to who breaks the other person's egg. Oh. So you try to. Yeah. It's it's an Eastern kind of culture. Yeah, especially Eastern Orthodox, Christian Orthodox thing. Wow. It's pretty. Yeah, you boil eggs and you decorate them with colors and whatever, paint and stuff, and then you do egg fight.
Cool.
On Sunday morning, and then you eat them. When they finally break, you keep fighting till it breaks, and then you eat it.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. A few more joining.
Very good.
So start in a couple minutes. 10:58.
Sounds good. How's your day been, Georgia?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm going home tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Back to Adelaide. So I'll be there until Monday. It'll be good to see everyone.
And that's for Easter, and then for the graduation, that's later.
Graduation is a couple of weeks after
that. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
you're going to be a bit of a frequent flyer in the next month. So.
I know.
Cool.
So that'll be good.
Missing the old Adelaide, or what do you think about Sydney and West Adelaide?
Do you know what? I'm missing elements of Adelaide, mainly being my friends and family, but the city, not so much. Maybe the ease of, traveling everywhere and having it so close, but other than that, I don't really
good on you.
Enjoy my time. Yeah.
Good stuff.
All right.
Lance, how are you finding the job?
Yeah, it's great.
What do you do at Marshall Logic, Lance?
So I'm taking care of the product, as we call it, the webinar product, and we want to really, take it from strength to strength and continually evolve the look and feel and the energy that we bring and the authenticity that we've talked about as well. So it's been really fun, really challenging, but rewarding at the same time.
Yeah. Good on you. I'm glad you're enjoying it, man.
Yeah.
It's very good. And Eddie, what do you do at Marshall Logic?
All the above.
All of him. And you're looking forward to start to do more on the UX stuff, right? To move, so to speak, from marketing to more working with the dev team on UX and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It should be a new and exciting progression.
Very good. Who else do we have on this, Georgia?
All right, we've got a few people. Got Susie, Renee, Rachel, Nicolette. Yeah, lots of
Morning,
people
everyone,
joining.
and welcome
Morning.
to the webinar.
All right, well, it is 11 a.m. Did you want to get stuck into
Yeah,
it? Or
I think
wait
so.
A bit?
At least
Yeah.
give it one more minute, but
One more minute.
we'll immediately then go into the agenda anyway.
Amazing.
And we get started for sure.
Lovely.
Yep. Who do we have from the Martian team?
Martian team.
Salespeople wanted to join so they can learn about the onboarding stuff.
Yeah.
Are they online as well?
Yep. We've got Blake, Cormac, Jesse, and Joe with us today.
Okay.
Sorry.
Morning, team.
We've got Jake as well.
Yep.
Jake's
And
joining.
welcome aboard one more time, Jake. This is your first webinar with us. Jake started on Monday.
Yes.
First few days, 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Is James on as well?
No.
Okay.
No, not that I can see.
Very good.
All right.
Yep. If you want to kick off with the agenda, Georgia, I reckon.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so yes, lot to unpack today. So this is all on the pack system, onboarding and employee updates. Super innovative module, and it sort of, allows all the users to completely create customizable packs, templates to meet all the compliance requirements, including those essential sort of documents and forms as well. So we're going to start off by creating 2 packs. So one's going to be for the purpose of the new employee onboarding, and then Anwar will show you how to duplicate it for the purpose of making those employee updates. So we'll run through how to set up the personalized pack templates, and also walk through those automation elements for the employee contracts and job offers. So those automations can be sent to all of the stakeholders, including the managers, HR, payroll, IT, and they can be, 14 days before, 7 days, and then the day before the new employee starts.
Yep.
They will look at implementing the most efficient and compliant employee onboarding process to tailor that to your organisation, including that branding, messaging, the internal and external communications as well, and how we can then make the employee updates, such as the change of staff conditions. So lots to run through. I won't talk anymore.
Sure.
So Anwar, why don't you kick us
Thank
off?
you, Georgia. Yeah, so we'll start with how to create a pack from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I need to, sorry, what happened? I didn't even touch anything. Sorry, guys, we're having a bit of a technical issue that the team just brought to my attention that somehow,
Unplug it and plug it back in.
yeah, the screen went blank. I think there's some loose connection here.
Right.
Alrighty, cool. So I'm logged on to our account, the trial account that we do the webinar account that we do all the webinars from. And if we go to the packs and I go to my pack templates, these are the existing templates, and I'm going to do a brand new template from scratch. I'm going to click on a new template. I'm going to call it webinar March 28th, is it? New employees. Cool. So that's the pack. When you first do it, it's open. It's empty, and we're going to add items to it from scratch. However, when you click on add items, it's going to take you to your content manager to show you the existing items that you have. And these items are classified, if you like, under different types in different tabs. So the default tab right at the top, as you can see, the one selected is the merged documents. And then you've got static documents, upload, download. We'll talk about that in a sec. Forms and images and videos. So the images, you can't go into it because these are just, they're not really items you add to your pack. They're more of marking collaterals that you use to brand your items in a sense. So that's why you can't choose it here when you're selecting items to add to your pack. So if we start from the top, what's the difference at high level? Merged documents are what we call dynamic documents, merged documents, just like in, the old mail merge, really. Therefore, that's how the platform allow you to have the contract, for example, all pre-populated with 20 different variables, the name and last name and address and salary and start date and all these amazing variables that you need to be all the time dynamic for that particular candidate, for that particular job on that particular day. All of that is dynamic. So that's what merged documents are. And they have to be a Word document. You have to start with a Word document. It doesn't have to be Microsoft Word or Google Sheet, and as long as Word document format. So whatever you use is fine. If you use it, for example, Google Docs, you can just download it once you've done the editing as a Word document format and then upload it into the platform. How do we do that? I'm going to create, I've got a Word document already, which is our employment contract. I'm going to click on create a new one, as opposed to, sorry, just before I do that, I've already in my library got a bunch of them, so I can just select one. But I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. So we're going to unselect this and create one from scratch. We are ready to upload it. Click on upload. It's right here, my employment contract. That's the name. I can change the name. It picks up the file name by default, but you can change it to whatever you like. I'm going to call it employment contract, March 28, 2024. And I've got two questions here, whether I want it to be signed by the candidate. Yes, I want it to be signed. And then the second question on whether or not I want it to be signed internally by someone in the company on behalf of the company or not. And I'm going to choose yes, also I want it to be signed, and then create it. So create it, what does that mean? It really adds it to the library, but also as a matter of convenience, it adds it to the pack as well, because this is how you what you were really doing initially. So if I go back to prove the point, add documents, go back to my merge documents here, it should be there somewhere. Here it is. So it's part of your library. So you can add it to another pack now. If I go and back to here, to my packs and create a new pack, I will be able to add that same document to another pack. So this is really good, that element of reuse and single source of truth, if you like. So you don't have to create multiple documents if it's the same thing. You just need different packs for different purposes or different sort of roles that you might need different items in the pack, but it's the same contract, it's the same maybe tax file form, etc. So 75% is the same of the pack is the same, but only a few things are different. You'll be able to reuse these elements. So it's really good from that point of view. Okay, so we go back to our pack. Here it is. It's got now the employment contract in it. I'm going to add another item. This time I'm going to go to static documents. Static documents are PDF documents that don't require to be personalized. They don't require the name of the candidate, for example, to be in them, or employee dates, etc. They are good on their own to be very generic and make sense on their own like that in a generic fashion to any employee. So we're going to create one from scratch as well. I'm going to click on create new, and it's right here. I've downloaded a code of conduct for the New South Wales government for the education sector, I believe. Found it online. I'm going to select it. It asks me to give it a name. Otherwise, it pre-defaults it to the file name. So I'll also change that to webinar March 28, 2024. And also it's asking if it needs signing. I'll say yes, but internally on behalf of the company, it doesn't need signing. I'll leave it at no and create. So I've got two items now in the pack. I'm going to add now some forms. I've got, with the forms, there's two types of forms. There's what we call system forms. For example, the tax file number form, that's a very specific kind of form that we built. You just have to add it. The Australian Super Choice form, or for the US, the I-9 form, which is the equivalent of the TFN form. So I'll add all of them anyway, just to show you. And you've got your own custom forms. So I'm going to select this form that I have created And so we'll end up with 3 forms being added. There's 4 forms. So here they are. And, just to emphasize, when I go to forms, you can create here your own form, and you all know how to create form. I mean, the form can be even created from other areas in a platform. This is just a convenience. So you don't have to leave that page if you want to create something from here. But our form system, if you like, is reusable across the platform, no matter whether you're in recruitment or onboarding or change of conditions, or no matter where you are in the platform, which phase and areas of the platform, you'll be able to reuse those forms. It's the same eForm infrastructure. Okay, so now that we've added our forms, we're going to add a video from scratch as well. I'll go back to the content manager. I'll go to videos. I can grab some videos I already have, but I want to add also one from scratch for you guys to learn how to do that. Create a new. I'll give it a name. I'm going to call it Induction. March 28, 2024. And it's asking for the embedded code of the video. I'll show you what that is. I'm sure all of you know this, but just in case. I've gone to YouTube and did some search, and I've got one here that I want to use. I just did some search on induction videos. And when you find, no matter whether you're using YouTube or Vimeo or any video platform, even your own kind of private hosting system, they all now have two ways of sharing, if you like, or making that video available to people, either via just a link, which will mean it'll take over the entire page will be about a video. But if you want the video to be embedded as a section within an existing page, you use the embedded code. So with YouTube, it's a matter of clicking on share and choosing the embed option. That's the code right here. And then copy, and that's it. I've got now the code in the buffer. I'll come back here and paste it. Just did Command V and create, and the video now is in the library, and it's also as a convenience that was inserted in my pack as well. One final thing on here now that we've finished the pack, I just want to show you that you can move things around by dragging and dropping. So if I want that form to be here, I can do that. If I want the employment contract to be second on the list, I can, grab it here. Oops, wait for it. So I can do that. And I'm going to put it back now to be back at number 1. So this is how you can move these items around. So this is a template. Now that you've built it as an admin person, people will be able to use it without having to worry about any of that. You're only doing this once. But here's the interesting thing, and that's what we call it. It's a super pack. It's not just a pack, because, everything we've done so far, we've only covered this one edit, the edit tab. I'm sorry, one tab I meant to say, which is the edit tab. So you're building a template for your people to start to use, to employ your team, to start to employ people, new people in your business with this pack. And not only the items and the fact that the items are going to be personalized and all that good stuff, which is powerful in its own, but the reason we call it Super Pack, because it also, you're able to reuse the entire branding. So I can change the background color here. Eddie, did you find something for me I could use?
I'll send you 2 things on Slack.
Okay. I don't think we should really do that, but I'll show you guys. In here, I can go and say, duplicate this. So I'll end up with 2 different brandings. So maybe you need to brand your packs differently based on the type of a role, maybe the head office folks versus the guys on the front line. You want to have different sort of more relevant sort of branding to the packs. So it's a matter of coming to this item here, click on Customize, and you're able to change the logo and the background color. So it's really powerful. I'll explain to you why. You can change all of this image in the background. It's really powerful. So this is actually our image that comes by default, all of this. So it's really cool. And for every pack, it's just a matter of saying, I want to use this branding. So you call these accordingly, clearly the name of the branding. It's that type of role or this division or this entity, whatever that branding needs to, is actually reflecting. And it's a matter for a particular pack template, choose which branding you want to use, and that's it. It will be duplicated when your guys are onboarding people, they don't need to worry about any of that. You've already selected, I want that branding for this particular pack template. So that's why it's even the branding is part of the template. And again, why we call it a super pack, not just the items. So then we go into the invite. You can also customize the logo that goes on top of that email invite. Also the initial starting message that you can see here, I can customize it. Similar thing, you have multiple branding, and each one of them will have its own initial email message, which is here, and also it'll have its own logo. So you can change all that. And if I get out of it, it's a matter of, for a particular pack, I want to select this particular, email branding, if you like, or that one. And so you can have as many as you like. And that pack now is branded, it's got the right email message, and everything ready to go. Now we go to the automations as well. This is a big section. We can really talk for 3 hours just about automations. And we should do a separate webinar on automations. If you, by default, when you create a pack template, we bring a few, we create a few what we call user groups, which is the foundation of the automations. The automation is about having a user group, or sometimes we call it stakeholder group, and such as the manager, the buddy, the HR folks team, the payroll team, maybe the IT guys, the procurement guys, the candidate, etc. You create these stakeholders that you want to make sure are communicated to and kept on the same page. And it's a matter of then setting up these automations. What would you like to happen? So if we look at the manager, it's really powerful because you don't have to tell us who the manager is. We know who that is. So it's dynamic. All you're saying is, I want to send to the manager. How do we know who the manager is? If you use the request to hire, we know who the manager is because the person submitting that request to hire, although it can be changed on the form. I'm sure you guys know that. But even if you're not using the request to hire, which I recommend you should, from the design tab of the job, you can select who the hiring manager is. And so by the time you've come to onboarding and all this, we know who the manager is and we're going to be able to send it. So I'll show you how powerful it is. If I then go to automations and I want to create an automation to the manager, let's say we want to send an SMS to the manager to remind them that someone is starting, bless you, Georgia, someone is starting in 3-4 days, and perhaps you should give them a call because they might be a little bit nervous. It's a nice gesture to give them a call, or at least a message to say, we're looking forward to meeting you and working with you soon, and all that. So the way I do this, the first thing you have to do is the trigger. Do you want this piece of communication to be only triggered after the pack is completed or after the pack is sent? Meaning as soon as the pack is sent, it's game on. Based on the criteria, it will be sent. So let's say it's pack completed, and then we want it to be an SMS versus email. And then we want it to be 4 days prior to the start date, before start date. That's all I've got to say. I've got to do. So I've got a next, and now I can write the message. And interesting, I'm just going to put my mobile number here in terms of from, but that should be defaulted based on the company's default one or the user. So I'm just going to put mine. In the message, this is why it's powerful. Remember, the manager is a dynamic thing. So I don't know who the manager is. I don't want to say, hi, John. I don't know if it's John or Anwar or Georgia. So I'm going to go to tags, and there should be here a tag called recipient's name. So it's very generic, recipient's first name. So I'll say, hi, recipient's name, comma, just a reminder that you want to say Joe, or the name of the employee. So that would be the applicant's first name, another tag. If I go here, it's right at the top, applicant's first name. So this is saying just a reminder that Joe is starting on the start date. That one is start effective date. This is the last start date that we're using as standard in the platform now, and we get everybody to migrate to it as opposed to the old start date. And starting on a date of a blah, perhaps you want to give them a call to make them feel welcome. And thank you from the HR team, that kind of thing. And that's it. Save it. And this is your automation. I can add another automation as an email, just in case you didn't get the SMS, which does the same thing. So it's really unlimited. I can keep adding automations to the same stakeholder group. So it tells me there's already 1 automations now. If I add another one, it'll be 2, it'll be 3, etc. So same thing, for example, with a pack creator. The pack creator is the HR person, or whoever the user is, that is going to be onboarding a person at the time. So once you as an admin finish your job in here, the pack is now available to your users to start to onboard people with it. The person who's sending that pack to the candidate is the pack creator. Also, it's dynamic, and that is really powerful too. So it really is pretty powerful, this sort of communication ecosystem, if you like. Other than that, you can create your own pack. I can do it from scratch. User group, call it whatever you want to call it. My user group version 01. And I can now go in it and add members. Who are the people that are part of this? They have to be users. You select any user you like. If the user's not there, we'll create a little convenience for you to create a user on the fly. We make sure that user doesn't have any access. They're just collaborators. And so there's no risk with that at all. And all we ask you is just for the first name really to be mandatory and the email, and you can create them on the fly, and we add them straight away as a convenience to that user group as well. So it's really cool to make it convenient for you. So you add as many people to that group, and then you go ahead and start to add automations to that group. And every tag is available, in the tag system, guys. Even your own custom fields are available. Anything you created in the requisition, or when you come to the approval phase as well, to the offer, phase as well, those fields are available for you. Anything that was completed through recruitment or onboarding, those fields, whether it's platform-wide system fields or your own custom fields, are available for you as tags. And that's what makes it really, really powerful. Very good. So that's the automation. We can't be stuck on it, I'm sorry, but just want to emphasize why we call it a super pack, because all of those, the edits and the design, all these features, thousands of these features across all these tabs, will be all of them reused, and the platform is aware of them when you start to onboard John with this pack. So now I'm an admin, I'm setting really all these automations and all these branding and stuff as a starting point. They will all be leveraged and personalized and customized when I go, one of your team later or yourself, I want to now onboard a person, John with this pack. All of that will be available for you. You go, the pack gets created, all personalized and ready for John. And then you go to the design. Yep, the right design is there. The invite message is there. All the automations are ready to go. Just a matter of finalizing any merge document, like the contract. You might want to just check to make sure if it's all there, and maybe it's been signed internally, and then you can send it on its way. None of that stuff that I've covered now, you will need to worry about once you've set it up the first time. And that's why we call it a super pack or a super template in a sense, because it's templating more than one aspect of the onboarding process, not just which items I need in that pack. Georgia, should we take a break?
Well, do we have any questions? We haven't had any come through. I think you've done a really good job by explaining everything.
Thank you, Georgia.
If anyone has any questions, shoot them through. We can answer them now for you before we move on to the employee updates. Is that what?
How's the sales team going and the accounts team? Guys, finding it useful? Can you give me some rating, please? Don't forget, I'm your CEO.
Yeah.
I'm the person that hires and fires in this company. So, all right. Just a reminder, I'm not suggesting anything.
No, of course James, in that case, 10 out of 10.
You are a smart guy, very smooth.
Cormac, we got a 20 out of 10. Okay. On a serious note, Derek says, no questions. I'm very new to this system, but this is very useful background for me. That's
Fantastic.
Great to hear, Derek. Let us know if you've got any questions.
Absolutely, Derek, and reach out if even beyond this. And welcome to the platform, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on as well.
Awesome. Well, I think that, no questions. So if you want to move into the next section, and I'll notify you if there are any questions.
Beautiful. Thank you, George.
No worries.
Cool. So now that we created this pack, I'm just going to get out of that pack and go to my pack templates, and it should be here. You can search, by the way. I'm pretty sure you can search. What? You can't search on a pack. You can change the format to be a list, and you can do by last sort of create dates, and it should come up at the top, I guess. Yeah, it's right here. No, sorry, create date. Created by, I'm so sorry, that's the create date here. So if I do that, that's the one here, comes up at the top. But you can't search when you're looking at the pack templates. You can, I'm very confused. I'm almost certain you could search. Can someone back me up? Can you search on a pack template, or I'm imagining things? Apparently not. Huh. Anyway, so you can change views between the cards, kind of, tiles, if you like, and between a list. And a list, as I said, it's powerful because you can do either alphabetic to be able to find it, or by the, reverse chronological. So it should come up right at the top. So this is the pack that I've created. I'll go back to the tiles views. So what we want to do now, I want to duplicate the pack, and instead of starting from scratch, I could start from scratch, and I want to create a pack now more suitable for an employee update purposes. So here's our pack right here. I will click on this little thing called duplicate, the icon, and it's going to duplicate it and put the word copy in bracket at the end of it. I'll go into the one that I've duplicated, and I'm going to rename it now. So that instead of new employees, I'm going to call it employee updates. For an employee update, I guess you're not going to probably necessarily need a lot of these items. The induction probably is not going to be there, perhaps. I'm just showing you, you can just do edit now. It's sitting in draft now. This is just, you can do whatever you like with that pack. I just thought we'll start from that point instead of starting from scratch. That's really the only difference. You can imagine if they've already an employee, you're not going to need the tax forms. So that's probably a safe bet. I'll just remove those two. You're not going to probably need sorry, that's the tax form there for Australia. I'll leave the code of conduct, I guess. I'll leave that form in here, the custom form, but that you can do whatever you like in here. And let's assume it's the same contract, although it might be a different version of the contract. You can add in the appropriate contract in here, etc. So, business as usual, you can reorder it, etc. And here's now, we have an employee updates pack. So we have now two packs, one to use for new onboarding, new employees, and one to use for existing employees. So now that we've done that, I'm just having a look at my agenda here. We're going to be show you how to now use it in the real life, those packs. We're going to do onboard an employee, a fictitious employee. And once the employee was onboarded, we're going to do an employee updates on them, pretend that's a year later now, this person, we want to move them from part-time to full-time, or give them a pay rise, any type of employee updates. And that will probably pretty much conclude our demo, because we would have covered how you can create a pack and use it for the purpose of either onboarding new employees or updates on an existing employee, the full life cycle in a sense. you might want to have a pack for the purpose of offboarding. I've seen a lot of our clients doing that, but I'm just not touching on that. But there's no real difference. It's the same thing. You create another pack, call it offboarding, and it might have maybe a letter about, separation letter, so to speak, that you might want it to sign. You might want to notify internal stakeholders that this person is leaving. Therefore, can you make sure you collect from them the car and organize to get the car from them, the keys, etc., to deprovision them from the systems. These are the 5 systems they have access to. Can you please make sure you deprovision them? This is the exact effective date, by the effective date, etc. It's a very, very powerful thing too, but we're not going to be covering it because we won't have the time. So without any delay then, let's go, and the best way to do this is to maybe go to one of the jobs that I've got open. Sous chef, so be it. We have someone here. His name is James Foster. Reminds me of someone that works for us, funnily enough. So we are going to... it's in the offer finalization approval phase at the moment, which is really perfect. So we have been working with James, let's say, for about a week, and we've done a couple of interviews, blah, blah, blah. And we called them on the phone. We had the offer approved with them verbally, and we've captured the details of the offer in the what we call the offer finalization phase, as you guys know. So we finalized what the final salary is. We finalized all of that, the start date, etc., what they require for the job, and we even perhaps had someone to approve even the final offer for James. It was all approved, and now we're ready to start the onboarding process. So we can just simply go to the packs tab and start a new pack, or we can do it from the workflow, which is I prefer. So we go to onboarding, and that will bring up the pack browser. We just a matter of selecting the right pack, and the right pack is the one that we just created before, which is this one, the new employee. And we start, and that's when that magic happens that I talked about, how the entire pack template is being now replicated and personalized and ready to be sent to James. And as I mentioned, not only this edit, meaning the items, it's also the expiry date. We forgot to touch on that. I'll just explain it in a sec. The design, whatever the branding was that we selected, for that particular pack, the invite message, the logo, and the automations, all of them are ready to go for the purpose of onboarding James. That's what's really powerful about our pack system. It sounds like a small little thing, a pack system, cute little word, but it's like what we call the iceberg. So tip of the iceberg. Thank you very much. So the name and when you first come across it, it looks like what you've seen as the tip of the iceberg, and then you start to discover more and more. Very good. So I mentioned the expiry date. Did I set up the expiry date before at the pack level? No, you can see it says it's not set up. I'll set it up here. Say 2 days I want to give them to sign it. But I'll just explain as well quickly. I'll come back to this pack. So I'll close this. I'll go back to the pack template. And this is the template, the pack that we created here. And I could have forgot to set it up. So I could say here 2 days. So that will be the default that will be already selected as well, part of that, super pack that we talked about. So I don't have to set it up every time. So if I go to my recent packs, that's the pack, the draft one that I was working with for James. I can go straight back into it. So as you can see, this pack now is all the items say it's ready to send, ready to send. That means I can send it, except for one item. It says it requires approval. So if I click on the pack, it hasn't been, we haven't added any tags to the contract. I didn't want to really go into that area. We'll see how much time we've got. I might come back and do something there, but let's just assume it doesn't require any personalization, which will not be the case. You will need at least 5-10 different parameters, and we encourage you to do that, but we don't want to get stuck on this right now. We say, yep, it's all good. It's looking good. We just want to have it to be approved now, signed, internally. I'll choose this user here to sign it, and I'll send it for approval. So now it tells me it's pending approval. That's the last thing that I need to do in this pack before I can start to send it to James. So if I go to my emails here, there should be a request to sign this contract internally. I go into it. As the manager who needs to sign it, we'll be able to, go through all of it, make sure it's all good, and then action the document. I want to sign it. I can choose one of the existing fonts, or I can go here to write my signature, or I can just upload an image, and I can save my options. So later I can go to saved and pick which option I want to do. So for example, the right, I don't have to write it every time. It'll save it for me. So if it is the right I'm going to do, I'll save it. Remember signature, and it'll come up under the save next time. So nevertheless, I will just use it now, and it would be all signed. If I go to the end here, I've got the signature there, and I've got the digital signing certificate as well to it. So this is ready to go. I'll close this tab. That's the approvers tab, different person supposedly. So we've signed it. So if I go back into that pack now, refresh this page, it should say that the pack is ready to send. Here you go, ready to send. I'll go back into the pack, and now I can send it. It says it's been approved. So start sending. It always takes me to the email preview page to make sure it's all looking good and happy with it before I send it. And as I mentioned before, I've got the opportunity to change the message on the fly if I need to. I'm not going to change it, and I'll go send, and it sends it. One thing I forgot to mention, with the send, there was an option to apply two-factor on it, and that will come from your, will be deducted from your SMS pack. So when you buy, 1,000 SMSs or 10,000 SMSs, that will be, you're buying a pack, and that will come off that. But you can use an SMS two-factor authentication, enforce that on the candidate when they receive the pack. I forgot to choose that. Okay, so now it should be also in my inbox as well. This one says approved. Maybe it was sent to the wrong email. Which email are we using for James? Let's see. It's a fictitious email. So we can't even find that pack now. So to do that, we will pretend that it's been completed by the employee. We will manually complete it. We'll choose this option here, and that is equivalent to the employee has gone through and signed the contract and filled out the forms and watched the videos and did all that. So the entire pack now is completed. What's really interesting, what I'm hoping I should be able to show you now, if I go into James's employee record, we've created a new called positions, a new tab. This literally happened overnight, or maybe the night before on Wednesday night, Tuesday night. So it's very, very new. We show you the full employee history. So whether it's a previous positions or the current position or positions, because this person might be doing 2 or 3 different roles for you, 2 days in here and 3 days in there, etc. So it'll tell you the position name, whether it's current or previous, and it tells you whether it's an employee versus external contractor versus a volunteer, etc. And it'll tell you the process was a recruitment process as opposed to an employee update, for example. And because it's the current position, I should be able, in theory, to do now a change of condition. It allows you to do a change of condition now. So if we imagine now 12 months later, we want to review James and we want to give him pay rise, or we want to move them from part-time to full-time, etc., any employee update, then you're able to do it here. When I click on it, it gives me the opportunity to change the reporting line in case we're moving James from one team to another team. So you want to change who they report to, you click on this and select the new employee they'll be reporting to. Otherwise, you keep it as it is, as per the existing situation. And in here, I need to select, I happen to have more than one what we call the COSC's change of staff condition. So, employee update. So I'll choose this one, the last one we did from the last webinar, and continue. And if you're not familiar with this form, it's very, very powerful form. It shows you the employee's name and their position and who they report to. And it shows you on the left-hand side their current, for example, remuneration and situation. And on the right-hand side, it allows you to propose the changes you want to make. So from the engagement point of view or the remuneration, we've got the option to copy what's on the left, meaning the existing, and then do the updates from there. Instead of starting from scratch, it's easier. So I click on yes, it copies what they are on right now, and I can then quickly go into edit and just make a quick change to that if it is a remuneration change. So if the rate 33, I'll just simply change it to 40, and now I'm good. That means it stayed as a contract or whatever it might have been, and I don't have to go through, is it permanent full-time, is it this, is it that, just a quicker. So pretty much I did that. I just need to choose the effective date for this employee update. I'll choose, say, effective immediately. So I'll choose today. I just want to choose yesterday. You might find that funny, but just to make sure the effective date is not going to stop us from doing something, because you might have to wait for the effective date to be able to do something on it. So I don't want it to stop us from doing certain things for the purpose of the demo. So I'll choose yesterday. That normally doesn't happen. And what is this? Is this change more than 30? I don't know. This is something maybe I did for the purpose of the demo. It's asking if it's more than $30,000 a year. If it is, you have to provide a reason. So this is to demonstrate that you can have your own custom fields, but you can also have what we call dependencies. So this field depends on that. Only if yes is selected will come up. If no is selected, it doesn't come up. So one of these powerful features when you're building your own custom change of condition forms or request to hire forms. Very, very enterprise-like. You can do so much with these forms in terms of the customization. I can also type justification report for this employee update, and then I can either send it for approval or just I want to approve it without signing. So I've approved it without signing. And now if I go into, I'll close the employer record and go into in the menu, there's a page called the life cycle. We should see now this change of condition sitting right at the top. It's the latest that I did. And it tells you it's a change of condition for James, and it shows you the effective date here. And it's in green because it already happened. And that's why I wanted to have it yesterday, so we can do things if we want to do with it in terms of what's next. So it's all there. And then I can action it from here to, for example, send a pack. And that's what we're going to do now to send the employee update pack. So start pack process. And I want to choose now. The pack that we did. Sorry, I'll show you guys. We'll come back to this. The pack that we did, we forgot to change the type of the pack. So if I go back to pack templates and find, sorry, what's this? Pack templates. Okay, just give me 1 second. It's filtering on certain types of packs. You'll see what I mean in a sec. So if I go back to, I've just refreshed the page as if it still thinks we're only selecting the certain types of packs. I'll explain what these. So for every pack, if we go back, let's say to the pack, which is the employee updates here, although we just renamed it and changed the items, but the type at the top is generic. That is wrong. It should have been a contract variation. We've used that word. We've used 3 words in the platform. We should really standardize it. We use change of staff condition, which we use the word employee updates, and we use contract variation. It really is the same thing. So that's the first time about 5-6 years ago we started to use the word contract variation. But yeah, that's how you choose the employee, the pack type. So if we go back, as a matter of fact, we made even the error on the first pack. So if I zoom back to the new employee pack, also we left it as generic. It should have been called the new employee. Certain things will not happen because we don't know the type of the pack. It's very important to choose the right pack, as opposed to, for example, exit pack, which is offboarding. Also, we need to know if that pack is generic or is it specific for certain functions, because we can do certain things automatically when we know it's for that purpose. So that's why they didn't come up properly. So if I go back now to the particular pack that we are doing, the process, which is under employees, I go to life cycle, and it should be here now. I want to send now, as you know, if you can remember, we want to send a pack now because the approval to change James's rate from $30 to $40 has been approved. The employee update approval has been completed. Now I can send a new contract perhaps to James to emphasize that now your rate is $40 and amongst other things. So I'll start the pack again, and that pack should come up now because we are filtering now on that type. Only the contract variation types will come up in here, so you don't have all the clutter. And that now we can find our pack. So that was the reason we could not find it before. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So here's our pack now. We're going to go in there, just need to have it approved. We're going to do the same thing, find someone to approve it for us and approve it and sign it. And we will find that there should be an email here for me to do that. I think this is the one. I'll go and sign it. Very good. So now back in here, if I refresh this, the actual pack, I can find it from here, but also in the recent packs, it should be right at the top. Here it is, and it's ready to send. I go here, and I can send it now to James. It always takes me to the preview, the email preview, and send. So what we did is we employed James. 12 months later, we wanted to give them a pay rise or increase their rate from 30 to 40. We create a workflow, approval workflow for this increase, for that update to be approved first. We had it approved by the business, and then we created a employment contract that would have automatically pre-populated, would have been pre-populated with that new $40 rate, etc. So it's designed for an employee update. It would have been all personalized, ready to go, and we sent it for internal signing. It was signed internally on behalf of the company, and now we sent it finally to James to sign it. So we pretty much completed what we wanted to cover, and now I'm open for questions, right, Georgia?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Rachel is asking a question that she's asked as an employer. So basically, her organisation asks future employees that offer to provide a COVID vaccination proof and passport details. And these prospective employees have concerns around this information being uploaded. So that the comment is that there's no statement/declaration of where the information is stored and managed by Marsh & Logic from a sort of cyber access control perspective. Personal identifiable information being sensitive.
Okay. I mean, on our privacy statement, it's a great point, Rachel. I'm really not, being defensive at all. I'm just thinking loudly about it. So if I go to the Martian website, we've got here the terms of use and the privacy statement. The privacy statement certainly, it makes it very clear how much we respect the Australian privacy laws and all this, and all the information that we collect and who owns it and how we protect it and all that. So between the terms of use and between the privacy policy, I know for a fact, Rachel, because I personally worked with our legal team clearly on this for the last 3 years, and we made sure it's not only works for Australia, but also works now for our company in the US and UK and all that. So I know that should cover everything you need. Take a look. And if you still think something is missing, I will personally work with you on whatever you need to give you the comfort that you need. There's no question about it.
Lovely. Okay. And now Christy asks, she says it would be really good to be able to name the pack type ourselves. We would love to have a training one, for instance, because induction doesn't make sense for the existing employees. And the pack type comes across in the email to staff, which is confusing for some of them.
I'm sorry, start again. The customize the what? I'm sorry.
The able to name the pack types.
Okay.
themselves.
Just give me 1 second. It's a very good question, and I might have some good news there already. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a. We'll go and duplicate this pack here, and I'm going to call it training. Okay. So this is going to be my webinar, blah, blah, blah. But instead of a new employee, I'm going to call it training. Is training double N or one N?
One N.
Thank you. Feels like should be two N's. Okay, so this is the training pack. And to your point, sorry, who was
Christy.
Christy, to your point, you're worried about the types in here because, correct me on that, in the email, the name sort of is related to the type. Is that correct? When you send the pack, the email message is probably a bit misleading. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's correct.
Excellent. So let's have a look. There's an option in there. It might be enough, but if it's not, I will take this on with you and work with you on some solution there. So just bear with me for a minute. So let's say we're going to choose the generic for now. Okay, keep it as generic. And we've got the pack. We'll just keep everything the same. So we have a new pack, and we're going to go to recent. And to quickly do it, I'll choose this particular flow. We created it for the purpose mostly of testing quick convenience. So click on start new pack. Just a matter of selecting that pack, the training one, and go next. And I'll click on that button, pick yourself for testing. So it's going to pick me as the user to quickly do a test, meaning a fictitious sending. So now I've got the pack. I've got this fictitious candidate called Anwar tester, blah, 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 that's going to go to. And let's have a look. If I go to the invite, this is, I guess, your point in here. It's saying, hello, Anwar, you're invited to complete your generic pack, right? That is sort of, for example, yeah, we have an option in here. Just let me see how far does it go for you. Use pack name, use the pack type. So if I say use pack name, then it's going to use whatever the name that you called it here. So the pack name, where's the pack name? Hello, the pack name. Oh, sorry, maybe, how do I change the pack name? We'll come back to that in a sec. Oh, yes, you can't change it from here. I'm sorry, it's from the pack templates clearly. But you can see already. So if I go back into it, do you think this goes far enough? Is that what you wanted? Because this name can be whatever you like now. For example, I mean, it's already not bad to complete your training pack. Could have been called. Is that the point? Does that go far enough? And clearly, the message in here can be completely customized for that particular pack. So is that now good enough?
Maybe I'll get back to you if she respond. She says we currently change it to pack name, but the email header says induction, for instance.
Email header. I'm sorry. Where's the email header? What?
As in the subject.
The subject.
Perhaps.
Can you confirm?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Look, if this is something that we clearly you've tried, and I trust you if you tried both, so what you're saying is the subject at the moment is not getting influenced by these options, only what goes inside the email. If this is what you mean, please confirm yes or no. It's clearly we overlooked this. We can definitely make that change. It's so straightforward. Whatever that change is. So do you mind follow up with me next week. It's clearly the end of the week, as you know, with Easter and all that. Follow up with me towards the end of next week. I promise you, by early the week after that, we'll have that done. Just want to work with you on exactly what you think we should be doing, just to analyze it a little bit with the team and make sure you're comfortable with that. It's going to give you what you need, but it's a small change. We'll definitely make sure it happens.
She says, yes, please. Happy to follow up with Blake, showing him what they receive on their end.
Even better.
Perfect.
Blake is 10 times smarter than me, so that's awesome. Very good. Thank you. That's a great point, by the way. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions from anyone? Or Anwar, anything else you wanted to touch on?
Oh, there's so much.
Yeah.
How much time do we have? 6 minutes? 4 minutes? It's 56. Yeah. Okay. Now I would rather someone from the floor, or maybe the new guys join the Martian team. If you have any questions, we've got 3 new guys on the webinar. James or Samet or Jake. Any questions from what you've seen? If we don't have any questions, I would rather, Georgia, if you can please communicate with the audience about the next webinar, and maybe a bit of a recommendation about what is the next topic that they would like to see.
Yeah, I don't think we have any
things scheduled, but yeah, we're going to plan them soon. So maybe a bit of an idea about some feedback about the structure.
Definitely.
Like, for example, today's webinar, do you feel it was informative enough? Do you think it was rushed? And what would be your topic as a priority? Just if you can guys type, what would be your preferred topic for the next webinar?
Anything that we've sort of covered this quarter that you want more in-depth explanation and demo, otherwise brand new topic, how we can structure these webinars moving forward, any sort of feedback.
Yeah, let's start with the topic perhaps. If you want to share that a little bit, get people to type a few ideas.
Okay. Renee says the new performance review module. Please.
Yes, actually, that was probably naturally going to be that. That's a very good point, because we started to have some questions to you guys about this. So that will be happening in the next couple of weeks. That's definitely going to happen. Great point. Great point. Going to write it down as well.
Yeah. Yes. Any other suggestions from anyone?
Like the automations, are you guys comfortable to start to play with the automations? The key thing with the automations is to be comfortable how you can do the testing in a safe environment, meaning, that fear of, am I going to be embarrassing myself, sending it to the wrong person or something? As long as we show you can do it in a safe way, which is really not hard, then you can just be fearless to try every single little thing, see how it works, right? I think that's the key.
Yeah. Interaction between all the modules.
Okay, example. Can we have one example of that?
We've also got something from Derek. As we know, he's new to the system and he's had some trouble creating jobs and then updating and editing as job information came in. Is there a basic online training package?
There should be a webinar on that, but I'm so sorry. I was writing the interactions thing from the previous user. I'm so sorry. What was that specifically about?
Derek's having some troubles creating jobs and then updating and editing as the job information comes in.
Okay. There should be something in the webinars, but can I suggest that you call our support or you call your account manager and let's do some kind of 30-minute training. We'll set up a training with you, which we cover this, but we cover other stuff as well over Zoom. And you can bring other people in the team. I'm not sure, how big or small your team is, but, you can bring other people and you can open it up a little bit more. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But you certainly, if there's some burning question around there, like an urgent thing you want to do, call support. Hopefully on the fly, they'll be able to help you with it.
Yeah, definitely. Renee says for that example of the interaction between the modules, taking an employee from a candidate through to an employee and offboarding, what are the interdependencies?
I really like that. This is a very powerful point, and the coincidence of it, the timing of it, I'm sorry, is really good as well, because we're making some significant changes in that area in terms of the employee database and the employee dashboard. Those, the ones that appear in the menu as beta, they're being now finalized. So if we were to do something like that in 3 weeks' time, clear the break and whatever else, say in 3 weeks' time, that would be perfect timing, because so many features are going to be put out, and those pages here, they would have been polished and stuff like that. I really like this idea very much. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Renee. Jake says, great session, but it would be good to understand more about the employee reporting areas of functionality and the use of dashboards for the future.
Yeah, this is sort of what we touched on as well. I think this is what we should be doing as the next webinar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Great points, both of them. Anything else? I still have time. If you have any particular question on other parts of the platform, I'm happy to actually go through anything right now, at least for 5-10 minutes, guys. Anybody's got anything urgent?
Nothing.
Excellent. All right. We'll leave it at that. We really appreciate the feedback, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
And if any other ideas pop in, always feel free to email myself as well, georgia@marshallandlogic.com. So if you have any more feedback or suggestions, we can go through that. Perfect. All right.
Lovely.
I think that concludes it. So thanks everyone for joining, and we appreciate all the involvement and engagement as well. And have a good Easter break.
Excellent. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, team. Thank you, users. We appreciate you guys. Have a great
Thanks,
Easter.
guys. See ya.
Bye.